Hey, what's going on YouTube? My name is Arden Studios and welcome back to another YouTube video, and this is going to be a longer. But before we start today's video, I just want to clarify, guys, these are 100% my opinions in the game. I am not the best Bee Swarm Simulator player, so if you guys have any other contradictory opinions, please feel free to comment below, and if you explain why, it might even help me and the community out as well. But with that being said, now let's get straight into it. I hope you guys enjoy, and please consider leaving a like, because it really helps my videos. Alright guys, so the very first bee on the list is going to be Baby Bee. Now, if we go over and look at Baby Bee statistics, let me just quickly open them up, because I do have Bee Swarm open to help me out with this. If we go over and look at Baby Bee statistics, you guys will be able to see that Baby Bee's Gifted Hive bonus gives 25% loot luck, and Baby Bee gives baby love. Now, I hate to do this, but I'm gonna put Baby Bee in the B tier. Top of B tier. It would honestly be an S tier bee. The only issue is Gifted Tadpole Bee is a way better replacement for Baby Bee, and 25% loot luck is not necessary in endgame. Now, I will be grading this mostly based off endgame. Actually, the mid-game journey does matter to me too, though, and Baby Bee is really crucial along the way, so I'll bump it up to A tier. Basic Bee is going to stand firmly at B tier. Its Gifted Hive bonus is incredible. 1.2 times pollen is so useful, and getting gifted Basic Bee is not that hard. I believe it is a 1 out of 50 chance from a basic egg, so you don't even have to use a star treat, guys. You can just buy a ton of basic eggs to go for it. But if the bee itself had a lot better stats, it would be higher on the list, but its Gifted Hive bonus is really good. It is a B tier. Bear Bee is going to be at the top of S tier. Honestly, even it could be at the bottom of S++. Now, in my opinion, Bear Bee is one of the best bees in Bee Swarm, if not the best bee in Bee Swarm. His ability token is so good, and the only reason, and I really mean this, the only reason I can't put it in S++ is just because it costs real life money in order to get Bear Bee. This bee is so important. I just can't say it's a must-have because you don't have to spend money on Bee Swarm. But you know what? I'm not going to count that into the factor. Bear Bee is basically bottom of S++. Bomberbee's Gifted Hive bonus is not particularly special, plus 15% bomb pollen is okay. Making Buzz Bomb, he's a good early bee in the game, but I'm gonna have to give him top of C tier. Now, I want to clarify this right off the bat, guys. Every bee in Bee Swarm is good. Like, all of these guys have amazing Gifted Hive bonuses. So, if I put a bee in C tier, it's still solid. D tier just means it's a little weaker than all of the other bees in the game, but I don't even know how many bees I'll put in D tier, except the next one, which is going to be Brave Bee. Brave Bee does not make an ability token. It's mainly just for attack, and while its Gifted Hive bonus does boost the entire hive's attack stat, it's not really necessary later in the game, so while I do think you should keep it early on, I'm gonna put it in the D tier. Bumblebee is going to be an A tier bee. Honestly, I might even put it above Baby Bee. Now, the only reason for this is because, and I'm going to make a similar case for Fire Bee soon, the only real reason why Bumblebee goes above Baby Bee and stays in A tier is because of Blue Hive. The thing is, 50% bubble pollen is so amazing, so crucial, mandatory, so important in a Blue Hive, and so from a meta perspective, I do think that Bumblebee is super important. Without the Gifted Hive bonus, it's still a good bee, you still get Blue Bomb, and you are getting Gathering Bubbles, but if you're a Blue Hive, this bee is so important to have, especially gifted, so it's going to be in the A tier. Bucko Bee boosts blue field capacity. It boosts, it gives you blue boost. It's a good bee, overall. Now, in terms of getting blue boost and blue bombs, the new blue mythics basically do all of that, so you're not going to need multiple Bucko Bees, but you are going to need probably one, because that Gifted Hive bonus for blue fields is really important. While I can't say it's better than Bumblebee, Bucko Bee is still really good for blue hives, and I'm going to go ahead and have to put them I'll put them at the top of B tier. And now, likewise, let me go ahead and also let me find them. Fire Bee is the exact same as Bumblebee, they're basically the same guys, put them next to each other. And Riley Bee is going to be the same thing as Bucko Bee, but for red hives. Bumblebee is going to be a really solid B tier bee. I'm going to go ahead and put him above Bucko Bee. Now, my main thing with Bumblebee is just going to be that the Gifted Hive bonus is better. He and Bucko are similar in bee stats, even though Bucko's an epic. And if we go ahead and look at Bumble... Oh, you know what, guys? I actually just realized Bumble gives an overall capacity boost. I completely forgot to change the Gifted Hive bonus. It gives a 1.1 times capacity boost, which in simplified terms could be considered a 10% capacity bonus overall. That's really good. I don't really see you using Bumblebee, though, unless you're a Blue Hive. I'm going to actually have to put it right there in the B tier. Again, all of these bees are amazing. And now we have Buoyant Bee. I'll be honest with you guys. Buoyant Bee and, I don't know if I'm putting it in S++ tier or S tier, because these mythic bees are so good, especially the new ones. They're so versatile, so useful, basically mandatory for the hive color they revolve around. I'm going to go ahead and put Buoyant in the S++ tier. It is very useful throughout all of the game. If Buoyant Bee is your first mythic, or if you have 20 of them, it's all the same, in the sense that it helps you no matter where you are in the game. And if you're a Blue Hive, it's basically mandatory. This bee is so good. Balloon Blessing is so useful. Its Gifted Hive bonus, if I'm correct, is going to be a capacity bonus. So, for Blue Hives, I'm going to have to put Buoyant Bee at the top. Obviously, it's not going to be white or red oriented, but for Blue Hives, Buoyant Bee is super duper good. And now let me just quickly confirm. Yep, Buoyant Bee is going to give you guys a capacity bonus overall, which is a great Gifted Hive. And just remember, guys, you are going to need a lot of Buoyant Bees to really bring out its true potential. One Buoyant Bee on its own is going to be, okay. Especially if you're progressing through the game, it's going to be amazing. But just keep it in mind. Carpenter B is going to be in the A tier. And I think I will put him above Bumblebee if I can. Yep. Now, my only contingencies with Carpenter B is that Vector B is an amazing replacement for Carpenter. Vector B is just everything that Carpenter B doesn't do, but Carpenter still gives you amazing marks, is super easy to access, has a solid Gifted Hive bonus with 25% more pollen from tools, which can be useful depending on the context, and it's going to be super good for people that are transitioning into White Hive. It's definitely a good White Hive bee. Cobalt and Crimson Bee are both S-tier bees. Throughout mid-game, they might even be the very first event bees you get, and in all honesty, these bees, their abilities work great earlier in the game. Once you get later in the game, while they're not as useful, Bomb Sink is still really incredible. The event bees have such unique abilities that it just always makes them higher ranked than most other bees in the game, aside from the mythics and all. And, I really do think that the instant conversion bonuses from these guys are really good. Now, if you're a Blue Hive, you might drop Crimson, Red Hive might drop, Cobalt, and if you're a White Hive, I don't really know what you're gonna do. Everybody has their own preferences. But, these guys are gonna be in the S tier. They are both great bees. Now, I don't remember, but I think that Commander B used to actually have a 5% crit chance, but now he has a 3% crit chance Gifted Hive bonus. It's still a really good bee. Crit chance is super important. I'm going to put it at the bottom of A tier, but above Baby Bee. The only bad part about Baby Bee is it's kind of on the edge of A and B, just because of Tadpole Bee. Now, assuming that Cool Bee's Gifted Hive bonus hasn't changed, which it hasn't, it's still plus 15% blue pollen. Cool Bee is going to be in the A tier above Commander. It is for Hive orientation, which, by the way, if you guys don't already know, once you get to the late game of Bee Swarm, guys, Hive color matters so much, and for a specific Hive color, that one Cool Bee is going to be super huge, because if you're mainly collecting blue pollen, plus 15% blue pollen is almost like plus 15% overall pollen whenever you're doing a honey grind. He's going to be really good, and they are still going to give you blue boost. Now, Demo Bee is going to actually be a little lower for me. I don't particularly care too much about Buzz Bomb Pollen. It's still useful if you're White Hive. You might need it for your Gummy Star, Colorless, all that. But it's probably going to be in the B tier above Basic Bee. In fact, I might even put it below just because I do think I would rather have a Basic Bee over a Demo Bee depending on the context. It's pretty thin, but I'll put them below Basic. Now, Demon Bee is not my favorite legendary. For Red Hives, it's gonna be okay. Now, if I am correct, It does have the passive Gathering Flames, which is definitely going to be useful. And on top of that, it does do a lot of red bomb, as well as giving plus 15% overall instant bomb conversion. All of these are great, but because not too many hives revolve around bombs, white mainly uses marks, blue mainly uses bubbles, and red mainly uses flames, it's not the greatest bee. Now, I won't lie to you guys, I don't think Demon Bee is bad at all, especially throughout the game. So if you were an earlier player, please keep your Demon Bee, especially if it's gifted. I just mean really late game, I don't think it's the greatest, so I'm putting it in C tier. Now, for a legendary, I don't think it has too much utility, but it's still an amazing bee, and if you guys know any reasons why I should place it higher, please tell me in the comments. On the contrary, I do think Diamond Bee is a much greater bee in comparison. Not only does it give times 1.2 convert rate, which is great for blue hives, it also has the Shimmering Honey passive now, which causes its conversion to give you more honey at hive. And honestly, it's such a great bee. It's not too oriented for anything, but I will say it's probably still going to be an A tier bee. Now, Exhausted Bee doesn't have too much going for it other than infinite energy, which if you do enough polar bear quests, I don't think energy is too important. But if we go ahead and look at Exhausted Bee's statistics, it doesn't have the greatest speed. Its gifted hive bonus does give 20% more white field capacity, and it does give token link. Token link is really important, guys. People don't realize this. There are better alternatives. But because Token Link is so useful, I'll put him at the top, or maybe in B tier below Riley and Bucko, especially if you're a White Hive. And Festive Bee is actually a bee that I am going to, I've now found more respect for since the last tier list. When it's gifted, its gifts are really, really good. On top of that, it gives plus 15% red pollen, which is great for red hives. It's going to give you guys Festive Gift, a Mark token, and Red Bomb Plus. Overall, a pretty good all-round well bee. I'm going to put it over there in A tier. In fact, I'll put it, actually, no, I don't know why I put it in A tier. I'll probably put it in S tier, guys. Sorry, I was not thinking about that. Its Festive Gift is so unique, it is good to have one. Frosty Bee mainly makes blue bomb tokens, which are going to be great for you guys that are trying to get your, it's going to be great for people that are trying to get their, bubble bloat. I don't know why I couldn't think about that. But because I do think Buoyant Bee is a good alternative, I'll just put Frosty Bee. It's still great for blue hives over here in the B tier. Next up on the list is going to be Fuzzy Bee, which is going to be an S++ bee. Now, I know people use fuzzy hives, meaning you might not keep Fuzzy Bee in your specific hive, but this bee it's essential. I mean, pollination of flowers is insane. That's gonna be like double, triple the pollen compared to a normal player. Pollen haze is great. Its gifted hive ability is so huge, and on top of that, it does boost bomb power, which is a plus. This is an S++ bee that every hive needs a little bit of help from. Gummy Bee is going to be S++ at the bottom. It's really important for White Hive. Overall, it's great if you need a free way to collect a goo. It's going to help you out with quests. Gummy Bee is a great bee. And then Hasty Bee is, it's fine. I do think Hasty Bee has some better alternatives. Now, its actual gifted hive bonus is really good. I do like the increased player move speed. That is pretty appealing. But other than that, it just makes haste. I don't think you need it unless it's really a preference. Top of C tier, but it's still a good bee. And then we have, Honeybee. So, just give me a second. If I had to put Honeybee, yeah, okay, that's fine. I know I did this last tier list, but Honeybee has to go where it rightfully deserves. Okay, I don't know why I pushed through with that. I did not execute that one well. But Honeybee, it's a funny bee. Okay, Honeybee, he has the handsome face and all. But we're probably going to have to put Honeybee over in the A tier above Commander. Gifted hive bonus is really good if you're a white hive. Any other hive color doesn't really need Honeybee. I'm gonna go ahead and put Honeybee in the A tier. Now, Lion Bee is another one of those bees that is going to be really good as you progress through the game. I just don't think it's necessary late game unless you're really going for an attack hive. So, in that regard, I'll go ahead and put Lion Bee in the... Actually, let me think about this a little. Its gifted hive bonus is just going to be +2 colorless bee attack. It only makes a buzz bomb, has a great attack stat. It's definitely a useful bee. I'll go ahead and put him at the top of B tier because he is a good all-rounder and you are going to need him throughout the game. Next up is Looker Bee, going to be an S tier B. Now, I think Looker Bee got a minor nerf because I thought he used to give 50% more critical power, but now they give 25%, which is still absurdly good, especially because a lot of late game is going to require you to get a ton of crits. Looker Bee's gifted hive bonus is incredible, focus is super important. And then next up on the list, we have Mythic Bee, S++ Bee. You're gonna need always around 2 to 3 of these in your hive. Melody, focus, token link, it's just such a quality of life bee. So important for crits, and Melody is literally one of the best abilities in the game. Now, I do think Ninja Bee is not too necessary, especially because Blue Hives have Buoyant Bee now. From a Blue Hive perspective, I think Ninja Bee is just okay, and while it is useful for haste throughout the game, it doesn't do much more than that, so I'll go ahead and put Ninja Bee at the top of C tier. Again, a great bee, and you are going to need it throughout the game. Actually, I feel bad about putting it in C tier. I'll probably put it low B tier. And then Photon Bee is going to be bottom of S tier. You don't really need them super duper late in the game, but their hive bonus of 5% instant conversion is really, really good. I actually probably am going to go ahead and change up the S tier a little bit like this. I do think Photon Bee is a great bee. You're just not going to need them in super late game. And then Precise Bee is going to be the same case as Buoyant Bee. Super good for red hives. You can get focus from it. You can get super crit chance. Super crits are super good for white and red hives. And while blue hives don't surround themselves as much with it, it doesn't hurt to have one, especially for the gifted hive bonus. Now, Puppy Bee is only mainly for leveling up your bees, and its utility when it comes to that is great, but it's going to be top of A tier because it doesn't have another, big purpose. Rascal B, I'm surprised I didn't put them up earlier, is around the same as Bumblebee. I think they are a little lower, just because of the fact that the gifted hive bonus is about bombs instead of capacity, which I don't really sway towards as much. And then if we go ahead and take a look at Raged Bee statistics, Rage Bee does give a gifted hive bonus of more attack, and it does give Rage. Spicy Bee is a better alternative, but because Rage is going to be good for mid-game players who don't have access to mythics, I'll put it over here at the bottom of B tier. Shocked Bee is very good for white hives with plus 25% white pollen as a gifted hive bonus, and because of that, I'm going to go ahead and put it around the top of B tier. Actually, I'll put it at lower A tier above the Diamond Bee. And now, looking at some of these statistics, I actually think we can probably drop Diamond Bee to B tier below Riley and Bucko, because Riley and Bucko are still really good. Now, Shy Bee basically got a huge rework in this update. It still gives red boost, which is super good. It has a new passive, which is really good for planters, and it gives plus 5% bee ability pollen, which never really hurts. Honestly, a great bee now. I'm gonna put it at the top of B tier. Actually, red boost is really good. I'll put it at low A tier. Now, let's go ahead and knock out Stubborn Bee, because the rest of the bees here are all insanely powerful. If we go ahead and take a look at Stubborn Bee, it's a preference bee. It gives ability token lifespan. It doesn't have too many other redeeming qualities. I would say it's probably bottom of B tier. And now for the final selection of bees. Spicy Bee is a great replacement to Rage Bee, and a really good mythic bee. While I do think it's super important for red hives to have a high quantity, I'll put it at the bottom of S++. Tabby Bee is going to be at the top of S++. It's a really, really good bee when you get it maxed out. Scratch is amazing, and if you have a gifted Tabby Bee, it is broken. You're getting plus 50% critical power. It's a game changer. Tadpole is super important for blue hives. I'm gonna go ahead and put it above Mythic Bee. Vector is super important for white hives, and in fact, because of Spicy, I'll put the 3 all over here, just like last time. I'll have the mythics lined up. In fact, I hate to do this. Let me go ahead and move up these mythics here. And then the final 2 bees, 2 of my favorite bees because of their design, are going to be the Vicious Bee and the Windy Bee. Windy Bee is super good. Tornado is great for sprouts, and it's a very challenging bee to get, but I can see some hives not using it, so I will put it above Gummy. Vicious is super duper important gameplay-wise for killing enemies. If you need to progress through normal Bee Swarm, you basically need this bee. So for those reasons, I'm gonna go ahead and put the Vicious Bee right under Tabby Bee. And with that being said, guys, that is going to be it for my tier list. So thank you all so much for watching. Remember that these are all just my opinions. And if you guys have any opinions, feel free to comment below and explain why, so that everyone in the community can get a little bit more knowledge. But with that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you all later. Peace.